There we go. Sorted. Alright, guys. Hello and welcome to the Saiyanhood event, tournament, league, whatever you want to call it. And it's going to be this time between Goku and Zuppi. Now, the setup for this is a 3-game series, and it's not a best of 3, it's 3 games, and that could be 3-0, 2-1, or 2-1 the other way, and yeah, basically all 3 games do have to be played in this series, and it's going to go into like a league kind of thing where the wins will be counted as points, and then the finals will be played as a best of 5. It's a nice little mini series, and as War is coming on is on a 2-week hiatus, on a break, we're going to have some other stuff to cast in the meantime, which is good. And it'll give us a little break once again from the big team game stuff, which, to be honest with you guys, I'm not a massive team game fan. Like, I can easily get a lot more hyped for a really intense 1v1 than I can for a big team game, because for me, team games, there's just too much going on. Well, 4v4s anyway, just a little bit too much going on to keep track of it all, and I don't know, I'm always, and I always have been a fan of 1v1s, so I'm looking forward to seeing how this little mini series will go. Zuppi then up to the northeast of the map, he's playing in the blue as the Celts, and down to the, well, southwest, or just to the west I guess, in the red we've got Goku playing as the Aztecs. So non-mirror civs, that's what we like to see. And after seeing that Mr. Yo versus the Viper best of 9, I got a little bit excited for those non-mirror civilization matchups. And yet again, we have a non-mirror matchup right here, which is fantastic. So Goku of the KGB team, you guys probably have seen him play a few times in the War is Coming event already. He is a Brazilian player, he's been around for quite some time, and he's certainly a very good player. Not on the same level as Viper, Yo, Jordan, probably on the level just below that. And we've also got Zuppi then, who is part of the Nabs team, Nadia's boys, one of the favoured teams in War is Coming actually. Zuppi, the Finnish player, who has actually made a name for himself more of late, I believe. I mean, he's been around for a while, but he's only really just started coming up towards, not necessarily peak, but he's certainly making some good improvements in his gameplay recently, which is awesome. And I usually see Zuppi playing in team games, to be honest, so it's nice to kind of isolate things away from a team game situation and have a look how things stack up when it comes to 1v1. So the first map obviously is going to be Arabia, and not Green Arabia, but the map is pretty green looking. That's because we're on the grassy Arabia, I guess. And yeah, Aztecs versus Celts, both infantry civilizations. I don't think you could really doubt that, but as far as they're both infantry civilizations, we're not really going to see any infantry until the later stages of the game, if we even get there, that is. Because for both the Celts and the Aztecs, they're either going to be doing a drush, which I guess is infantry, actually, I'll take that back, but the middle part of the game, the feudal age, the castle age, most likely to be archers, because these guys won't really be utilizing infantry until the Imperial Age much. Like the Celts, for instance, going to want to maybe pop out some of those Woad Raiders a little bit later on, but that's going to be the Imperial Age. And for Goku, as the Aztecs, might be wanting to pop out some of those Eagle Warriors. Perhaps we'll even see the Jaguar Warrior, because that's going to be pretty effective against the Woad Raiders that Zuppi might be producing later on. But for, like I said, for the middle stages of the game, the middle part of the game, it's going to be mostly archers, because both of these civilizations do that. They both go archers and then transition away from that after the castle age. So Zuppi here just coming in and stealing one of Goku's sheep. I guess that serves Goku right for leaving it a bit too far away from the town center. He's also starting to wall up a little bit on this top side, and we'll take this opportunity now to have a quick look at his map and actually see what it's all about. Now, Goku's map actually doesn't look too bad at first glance. He's got some pretty nice wood lines to the side of his TC, and as you can see, with this little wall off here, he can basically make a funnel in towards his town centre, keeping the back of his base fairly secure. The main problem with that, though, is that whilst the back of his base might be easy to secure, his gold isn't there. His gold's way out on the front, kind of mangled on a hill, and he's also got a second gold down here, which is going to be pretty hard to defend unless he was to wall around it. So Goku's gold is not in a fantastic position, and as such, in these kind of situations, you tend to see people or players with a forward gold playing more aggressively in the early game. And certainly for the Aztecs, that does make sense as well, given the fact that they are going to be doing a 5 militia rush. That's what we will be seeing from Goku right here. He is building into that, and he's already got 4 militia on the way out. Well, 3 more in addition to the one he's already made. Zuppi, meanwhile, well, of course, he's going to be scouting that, and if we quick look at the Fog of War, you can see his scout cavalry milling around. He's already stolen 1 sheep, so he was quick to scout Goku, whereas Goku is much more invested in luring those deer towards his town centre to give him a little bit of a food boost. So Zuppi knows that this is coming in. He obviously sees the barracks, sees the flags, and he's probably, well, potentially going to spot the drush itself as well. There's a militia just coming out now, so Zuppi's going to kind of trail that and see what he can find. He's going to run into the other 2 that are on the hill, and now he can keep tabs on that drush and see where it's at. Meanwhile, back at home, Zuppi himself has got a barracks up, but he's already up to the feudal age, doing a pretty fast feudal time here. 23 population, which is pretty much spot on for doing a nice archer rush. The question really is here, will he be able to defend from the drush as it comes in, or will that drush do damage to him, which is obviously going to set him back quite a way. Now at the moment, just quickly walling up at the back here with these palisade walls, making sure to keep his villagers in that wood line nice and safe. His berries, though, are going to be coming, well, under a little bit of pressure in just a moment. Perhaps we'll see some more walling from his berry gatherers, but he's certainly going to be pushed away here. And remember, the idea of a drush is not necessarily to kill villagers as much as it is to cause them to be idle, cause them to have some idle time. And in fact, if you have a quick look at this group of villagers here, you'll see that this one, 6 health, these boar lured, or the villagers that lured the boars in a little earlier on, a little bit hurt from that, and could be easy pickings should Zuppi let them get out of range of that TC. Now, I think Zuppi's obviously going to be more than careful enough, but you can never be too careful, really. It's going to be a risk for him at any rate. So the archery range is coming up, the second range as well, and Zuppi will add a blacksmith after that. But 4 villagers on the gold at the moment is not going to be enough for continued archer production, but you can see he's actually taken quite a lot of villagers away from the food at the moment. He's literally just got 1 villager gathering food right now, and that's a little bit of a concern. At the moment, he does have 2 villagers in queue, but once that's gone, then he's going to be pretty short on food. So quickly retasking them to take the sheep. You might be wondering, well, why did he do that? And that is simply because once he clicked up to feudal, he wanted to make sure he had enough wood and enough gold so that he could start making archers straight away from 2 ranges. It can be a little tight getting those ranges up, especially the second one, if you don't transition villagers to wood fast enough, or enough villagers to wood. So the first archer's coming out. So far, Goku's drush hasn't been so effective, really. You know, he's done a little bit of damage over here at the berry bushes, where he pushed them away for a few seconds, but other than that, not too much. So the blacksmith coming up for Zuppi now, and Zuppi's also got a kind of back gold over here, keeping it nice and safe with a few palisade walls, and already building a kind of wall of buildings at the front of his town centre, which he can use to then build from and continue his walling later on. So Zuppi, seemingly going straight away for a counter-attack here, knows that his villagers are pretty actually quite safe from these militia, and Goku, meanwhile, actually doing the man-at-arms upgrade, putting a forward watchtower on this gold, and like I said earlier on, that's in a pretty nasty place, and you know, if a counter-attack does come in towards Goku now, which, believe it or not, it is, then that gold is going to be immediately put under pressure. So that watchtower, pretty big precaution, and Goku, I think quite rightly putting that up, sending a weak villager out though, and that could be easy pickings for Zuppi. So at the back of the map, Goku now trying to focus down on these palisade walls. That man-at-arms upgrade, well, potentially wasted, actually, I feel. I don't think that he's actually going to achieve much with these men-at-arms at all. They can start battering away on a palisade wall all they like, but Zuppi's got archers out to defend. And, you know, a couple of archers here are going to whittle these down before they can even close the gap to meet the archers. Bear in mind, Zuppi's actually got fletching done already, getting nice and aggressive now towards Goku. Goku's tower going to give him a little bit of protection, but losing some villager gathering time, forced to gather inside of that tower there as Zuppi's archers kind of cling to this hill. Meanwhile, Goku's walling up at the back of the map as well, or he has walled up, and even on this left side. So, like I said, the back of his base is going to be really nice and safe and secure, but the front is a little bit at risk. Zuppi going to force a little bit of an engagement perhaps here on the hill, trying to take down this palisade. Will take quite some time, and Goku buying himself enough time with that palisade to bring out a couple of skirmishers and get himself fletching as well. Goku, remember, going up to the feud age a little bit later, thanks to doing that drush with a few more villagers in his economy to give him a little bit more of a, well, a nice economy once he reaches the feudal age. Goku, however, still only making skirms and archers at the moment. Well, making a few skirmishes for defensive purposes, no doubt. Now, these militia still not really doing much at all. They mostly died over this right side pretty quickly to those archers, it seems, from Zuppi, and I just think that upgrade for the man-at-arms was completely wasted, really. There just does not seem to be any particular advantage to doing that upgrade to Goku in this situation. So he's going to go back with these guys. You could perhaps use them to scout a little more, and in fact, he might just find this relic, which is going to be kind of useful to him, in fact, because as the Aztecs, I think, well, in my opinion anyway, collecting up those relics nice and early should be not necessarily a priority, but it should be something that you should consider doing. Mostly because of the relic bonus gold that you get as the Aztecs. And for this map for Goku, he's got one in the back of his base, he's got one to the right, which should be easy to get, and two in the middle of the map, which Goku, I think if he goes for all four, should put himself into a fantastic position. That extra gold income is going to really stack up as the game goes on, and obviously with a 1v1, the gold is very, very finite, and the more you can get, the merrier. So let's see what's going on at the moment with Zuppi. I mean, he's surprisingly playing fairly defensive, moving his archers back. But if you think about it, it kind of does make sense. There's no easy way in to Goku's base. I mean, he could come back up here and try and break through the walls, but Goku's already re-walled behind it, or reinforced this even, with houses going up behind there. So the way Goku has walled this map, the way he's built his buildings and kind of created this choke point between the TC is giving him a really good amount of defense. Now, Goku coming in at the back of the map, he will snipe one villager kill from, or get one villager kill from Zuppi. Zuppi's going to try and wall this as fast as he can to keep his villagers safe, and losing yet another villager as well. Now, it's all well and good walling your villagers into your lumber camps to prevent the men-at-arms and the militia killing them, but once they get caught inside and archers firing in, it's not so safe anymore. So 3 villagers going down, but Zuppi has got a much larger army of archers here, and nice micro as he comes out there as well, managing to pick off quite a few of those units from Goku. Now having a quick look at the military count, wrong button, oops, I'm a fool, there we go, looking at the population even, we can see that they actually both have 55 population right now. Goku's got 16 military and Zuppi has 20, with Goku having an extra 4 villagers on the map. So those 4 villagers, of course, going to be there because Goku managed to kill 3 back here, and so far being perhaps a little more efficient with his economy as well, managing to get 4 villagers advantage, and that's going to obviously add up over time. Zuppi, knowing that he's lost those, will probably want to come back and try and get a couple of kills from Goku as well. But Goku continuing to keep the pressure on, now sending another band of units over to this right side, but once again, Zuppi has got him outnumbered, and he does have a lot more units on the map, military units anyway, on the map, so Zuppi's looking pretty decent for now in this defensive position, but actually he is outnumbered here. I didn't think he was outnumbered this side, to be honest with you. At first glance, it did not look like he was. could go and cling to this hill over here, but he's not doing that. And, well, more archers coming out. But actually getting cut down pretty quickly. I, at first glance, thought that Zuppi had more units there than Goku, but that's obviously just an error of judgment. 4 archers here for Goku. Might pick off yet another villager, and that would be pretty serious. Zuppi, though, just going to bring his villagers into fight. If Goku micros this one well, he can cause a lot of villager idle time, sniping yet another archer. And that was a pretty good engagement for Goku there, actually. Drawing the military numbers pretty close. Goku just 3 units behind now, and continuing to send units forward as well. Zuppi, however, is on the way up to the Castle Age, as is Goku. Zuppi with a little bit of a lead up, though, about 25%. And also managing to snipe one of those villagers from Goku as well. Zuppi then first up to the Castle Age, researching crossbow, researching bodkin arrow. Would we have expected any less? And 2 TCs coming straight up as well. And these guys going to get a little bit more potent, and he's looking to break down this wall, looking to prevent Goku from walling this up, trying to pick a couple of villagers where he can as well, and nearly succeeding. So those crossbows have been upgraded, and Goku here going to try and improvise or build another wall behind this, so that even if Zuppi gets in, he's not going to get any further. And Goku, pretty big damage protection already, but that's just a wasted time for Zuppi right there. So I'll be interested to see whether Goku goes for Siege Workshop, there we go, or TCs, opting instead for the Siege Workshop. And you know what, I think that's a good decision, to be honest with you. He's already doing really good eco-harassment at the back here, killing another couple of villagers in this wood line. And Goku's kind of all over the place at the moment, picking off villagers here and there. And Goku has got still a villager lead, which is very good. But the decision to go with the Siege Workshop, I think, is a good one here. Now, the Aztecs do have a great food economy as soon as they reach the Castle Age, or even before they reach the Castle Age, simply because of that Aztec farm bonus, and we spoke about this yesterday. So they don't need quite so much on food in order to keep villagers coming out. And meanwhile, they can get out the Siege Workshop, start putting on some really big pressure with mangonels and all that jazz. Now, Zuppi hasn't actually spotted that Siege Workshop at all, but he's put his own Siege Workshop up in defense, as you can see. And the nice thing about the Siege Workshop for the Celts, of course, is that their siege does fire faster, meaning that in a kind of micro war against another mangonel, the Celts should have a small advantage there due to that faster firing speed, being able to fire, move out the way before the other person manages to get their shot on you. Could definitely save a few mangonels by utilizing that. So far, Goku's actually played pretty well on this hill. I mean, considering his gold's in a pretty horrible location, Zuppi's not been able to get in there and cause too much trouble. I'm surprised, really, that he didn't try and pick some more villagers off here. He could have come in and put himself under the tower so it couldn't shoot him, obviously before the Castle Age anyway. Might have picked a couple of villagers there, but Zuppi retaking the villager count lead as these 2 town centres start production now. Getting a couple of nice mangonel shots back here as well. 5 crossbows going down to that mangonel as Zuppi repairs it and keeps it in top form. So I think, to be honest with you, Zuppi is now starting to pull ahead. He's had a larger military for quite some time. He was faster to the Castle Age. He's also got his 2 TCs, or his 2 new TCs, up and running and taking that villager count lead as well. Goku, meanwhile, is just sticking up his 2nd town centre now, but, you know, it might be a few minutes before he's got his 3rd. Bear in mind, he did build that tower earlier on as well, and that tower did cost him stone, so he's had to take some extra stone here in order to be able to build his 3rd TC. Well, if he wants to build his 3rd TC, he will have to take more stone. He's nearly got enough wood for it. But so far, his aggression in the back of the map hasn't been so successful, as that mangonel is more than capable of defending for now. Zuppi's actually sticking up a stable at the moment. I'm actually interested as to why that might be. Perhaps we might see a couple of knights coming out. Who knows? But either way, knights are going to be very, very useful to Zuppi here. He can use them to focus down the enemy mangonels if that comes to pass, or he can go and send them straight through this TC. Obviously, their tankiness will allow them to get through without taking too much damage and get into the wood line back here. Maybe do a little bit of raiding, a little bit of harassment that kind of jazz. So Goku's just getting up his 3rd TC now, a massive time difference in comparison to Zuppi, to say the least. And Zuppi's Knight gonna go clean up that crossbow, but we'll see if he adds too many more knights here. He's not done any upgrades on them, and to be honest with you, the Celt Knights are not the best by any means. Certainly lacking a couple of upgrades that will take their shine away. Goku then, that 3rd TC coming up on this right side, it's not in a particularly amazing position. He can't saturate it with farms, but then again, like I said earlier, the Aztecs don't need that many farms, as their farming is very, very efficient. So, currently, Goku has 9 less military, and he also has 9 less economy. So Zuppi's really starting to pull ahead here with an 18 population lead. And I mean, for Zuppi at this point in time, he just has to keep doing what he's doing. He's not got to change too much. Just got to keep his archers patrolling, making sure that he doesn't lose any villagers, looking to try and poke some holes in Goku's defense. But Goku is probably going to be feeling the pressure a little bit here, knowing that he has got to do some eco damage if he wants to pull this back. So obviously, if Goku manages to get up to the Imperial Age first as well, then being the Aztecs, of course, he can get some eagles out and start raiding Zuppi's economy, and that could certainly bring things back. But so far, these engagements have been really quite shabby from Goku, running straight into mangonels and the like. Oh, that mangonel nearly getting taken out, but a glancing blow, and Goku here might just lose his mangonel as well. Oh man, Zuppi there a little bit slow to utilize those knights. His crossbow's getting cut down slowly but surely, and those knights going to quickly deal with the mangonel, and wow, the mangonel shots from Goku, sorry, from Zuppi so far have been fantastic. That knight's going to get focused down, but if those crossbows stop for too long, then that mangonel there will very quickly take them down. They're pretty low on health, and once again, Goku with a 10 military deficit compared to Zuppi at the moment. So I just heard a monastery going up, and it's good to see that Goku, is actually getting out the monks now. It's not going to be long until he clicks up to the Imperial Age. He's got 900 gold in the bank. He's got 750 food. So he will be up to the Imperial Age very soon, and he's already preparing for that by putting up a barracks at the front, and he will be getting those upgrades as well for his infantry once he clicks up to the Imperial Age. Obviously, clicking up to the Imperial Age is much more of the priority at the moment. But still, Zuppi is not going to be too far behind Goku in terms of the Imperial Age upgrade. I think Goku might still just have it first, but the difference in time is not going to be too great. In fact, a 4 TC on the front here for Zuppi now, which is rather interesting. Not sure why he's going for the 4th on the... Well, I guess just villager protection, I suppose. I was going to say, yes, monks coming out. And I think Goku should collect up these relics before Zuppi gets them, because Zuppi's also sticking up a monastery on the front. He's also going to be making a monk very soon. But Zuppi clicked up to the Imperial Age, actually. And my goodness me, I'm surprised. I actually thought Goku was going to do it first. There we go, Goku now just clicking up. But really, that's pretty impressive. Goku's on about, what, let's see, 5%, and Zuppi's on 16%. I had a quick glance at the economies before. It really did look like Zuppi would have been a few moments behind. But like I say, it was going to be close either way. And Zuppi now really looks like he has got good map control. His mangonel shots have just been fantastic. He's killed so many crossbows this game for absolutely free. Goku going to run away from the mangonel into the jaws of yet another Zuppi army, and that is just ugly. Ugly, ugly stuff for Goku there, losing so many units to that. So Goku's now stepping on the production with the eagles. What's Zuppi's response going to be? Well, there's that castle going up on the left-hand side, and those castles are going to be very much required if he wants to get out his Imperial army. Obviously, not going for knights into Cavalier, and like I said, even though the Celts have got Paladin available, they're just not that great when you compare them to the mobility and the strength of the Woad Raider. So Blacksmith, another blacksmith going up for Zuppi here. He's going for double the upgrades, and that's all good. Also, note how he's putting this castle on the left side, right next to that stone, so that he can secure a little bit more stone income. He's almost able to afford a second castle, and we'll probably see that going up pretty soon as well. And now Goku has released the eagles, and he will be able to chase down those crossbows very easily. These guys are lacking the elite upgrade, of course, because Goku's not Imperial yet, but it won't take him long to get those upgrades done, as Goku now tries to take a lot more map control and secure the remaining gold piles near to his base. So, one thing I'm very surprised about is that Goku still hasn't used his monk. It does not seem like he's collected a single relic yet. In fact, he's not. I'm not sure why he bothered to get out a monk at all, if he wasn't going to even use it once. So Zuppi now probably going to want to make sure he's nice and walled up, because these Eagle Warriors are going to be heading pretty quickly towards his economy, and if he's not walled, they will get in, and they're going to be a pain in the ass once they are in, because they will take quite some time to die. So going to get a quick surround on those crossbows. But for Zuppi now, he's not too bothered if he loses those crossbows or not. They're kind of quite disposable, really, once he reaches the Imperial Age, because let's be honest, what use is having crossbows when you've got mass elite eagles against you, and you can't upgrade your crossbows any further? So Zuppi's starting that Woad Raider production. Conscription on the way up as well right now, and Woad Raiders are damn good at dealing with the eagles, so obviously, he's just got to chase them, make sure he's got squires and tracking and all of those defensive upgrades as well. These elite Woad Raiders, very quickly upgraded by Zuppi there, not wasting any time, and he's going to make pretty short work of these eagles as well. The eagles, remember, 0 base melee armor, and at the moment with full upgrades, just 3 melee armor. Compare that to the Woad Raider, who again just have 3 melee armor, but the base stats are looking, obviously do look pretty good for the Woad Raider as well. I mean, you've got to consider they have more base health, they have more base attack, and they do make pretty short work of the eagles. The thing here for me is, will Goku be able to do damage to Zuppi's economy by breaking through and just kind of getting through the cracks in his walls, or will he switch into some Jaguar Warriors and kind of mix it up a little bit? Obviously, the Woad Raiders are, again, a fantastic raiding unit. They do what they say on the tin, and so far Zuppi's not actually been raiding yet. He's just playing a defensive game, but they are a very good unit to counter the elite eagles with. Oh, Zuppi nearly losing that monk. I think he might just lose that monk as well, actually. Oh no, poor monk. Dropping that relic right outside of the monastery. Zuppi actually already securing a relic already, and going to secure that second there as well, whilst Zuppi still has not taken the relic in the back of his base, which surprises me, considering just how much extra gold he's going to be able to secure from those relics. So Goku, yeah, Goku's switching out. He's had enough of the eagles here. He's not been able to break through into Zuppi's economy, and he's actually switching into champions, man. I always forget about the champions. I'm a devil for who are getting that. But yeah, switching into two-handed swordsmen. There they are in their majesty with their yellow shoulder pads, looking fantastic as ever. But two-handed swordsman is not a bad decision at all. Once they're upgraded to champion, and Goku has got his unique technology for the extra attack damage, these guys are going to be pretty potent, actually. We'll see how it goes. Zuppi with a quick wall up next to this castle here. Going to put that down in a pretty bad place for Goku, actually. That's going to cover both of his gold mines. And that was a really nice little pushback from Zuppi there. Just getting nice and aggressive, pushing Goku away from the gold, dropping a castle there, and then retreating instead of fighting those two-handed swordsmen head on. That's some pretty clever play, and that castle, like I say, going to be annoying for Goku to say the least. Will certainly prevent him from gathering those gold, that gold there. So Zuppi's now trying to do a little bit of raiding at the back of the map. Going to pick off a few villages back here, and I mean, it's just looking really nice for Zuppi at the moment. He's got a good amount of map control. He's hoovering up the extra gold on the map. He's secured himself the relics, and he's not really taken too many losses, in his economy. He's got 128 villages, which is pretty much optimal at the moment, and Goku has just 18 89, so there's a big advantage there, and he's still got his 10 military population advantage that he's had for quite some time this game. So one thing I'm a little bit concerned about for Goku is the lack of castles here. There's no castles in his economy at all to keep things nice and safe, no castles on the front to hold these hills, and with Zuppi having all these castles already, it's going to be hard to kind of push these back because he's already making trebuchets, and if Goku wants to put up his own castle now, it's going to be difficult to stop Zuppi from countering him. So champion is now done, and if we have a quick comparison of the stats there, you'll see that the champions have 10 less health than the Woad Raiders, but they do have the same base attack, and they actually have a little bit more melee armor as well. Now once the Aztecs have fully upgraded their infantry, the champions are going to fare pretty well against the Woad Raiders, but at the moment they are still outclassed for the time being, and unfortunately for Goku, it seems like wherever he runs, he's just running into castles, which is not ideal in the slightest. Zuppi then going to bring in his Woad Raiders here as these champions bash away at this castle. Interesting decision, to say the least, but you know what? If he actually continues to focus it down, he might take it, maybe at the cost of his entire army, though. The nice thing, though, about champions is the very low gold cost. Of course, 60 food and 20 gold isn't exactly stellar. They're pretty cheap, really, when you think about it. So they're not too costly, and that is always a nice thing when you've got such a strong unit for very cheap. So those Woad Raiders still stay inside of Goku's Eco, still picking off villagers where he can. Goku trying to hit Zuppi right back as well here, and actually doing a pretty good job at this castle. Might even take it down with those champions, in fact. But Zuppi has a little surprise up his sleeve. He's got the heavy Scorpion upgrade underway. He's got Scorpions heading over right now, and he's also now secured a third relic as well, with the fourth relic actually out of sight, unfortunately. That would be really good for him if you could get that. That castle, though, is going to go down. Zuppi here does not have murder holes. He doesn't even have a university. And I take that back. I was going to say that castle's going to go down, but Zuppi taking action to prevent that from happening. Oh man, 350 health. Still, there are 4 champions attacking it, so nearly taking it down. But let's be honest, that attempt was pretty futile from Goku. I don't know why he was persisting to attack that castle for so long with his champions there. Zuppi in the back of Goku's base, raiding pretty well, killing a whole bunch of villagers. And at the end there, Goku was down to 86 villager population. Meanwhile, Zuppi was just limbering up, getting his heavy Scorpions into place, and as if that wasn't enough, Goku just lost the majority of his army there as well. Those champions just getting cut down very quickly by those Woad Raiders. So, well played by Zuppi. And I feel like he did have an upper hand for quite some time. From the very early Castle Age, once he got those crossbows upgraded and made some really nice mangonel shots, he did have a significant army advantage. He also had an eco advantage as well, which he held on to, as Goku just wasn't able to kind of equalize things out in terms of villager count. And once again, Zuppi, almost surprisingly, reaching the Imperial Age just before Goku, which is kind of a big deal when you consider just how good the Aztecs' Imperial time usually is. So well played to Zuppi there. He's going to grab himself the first point in this 3-game set, and we're going to go to game